Nuakai Aru here, Wisdom Foragers, and today we've come into Wiltshire to experience the spring equinox at Stonehenge before the sun rises.
And while here, I speak to the renowned archaeoastronomer Simon Banton to gain more insights into this fascinating site.
I think the culture that was up there in the northeast of Scotland had spent so long looking at the sky from where they were that they realised there must be a magical spot a bit further south. But I think that is the motivation for establishing this site.
Come with us, journey. Let's see the sunrise in Stonehenge. That glorious light of the early morning sun. You can hear the birds singing to the glory of the day. The spring equinox is significant because it's a time where day and night is equal length. The earth moves on a tilt, moving slightly closer to the sun and further away from the sun. And that affects the northern and southern hemisphere of our planet, moving northern further into the sun or further away. During the spring equinox in March and during the autumn equinox in September, we find a perfect equilibrium between the northern and the southern hemisphere having equal length of day and night. Like a celestial clock, Stonehenge stands as a cosmic reminder of our connection between the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars. From within Stonehenge, we can see the rising sun and the birth of spring, but not only spring, it also marks the time of summer, autumn, and winter. In this beautiful location, for over 5,000 years, humans have come together to honor the changing guard of the season. Standing in the heart of the English countryside, Stonehenge is one of the world's most mysterious and breathtaking monuments, silently watching the sun rise and set for millennia. We're here as the sun is rising, bringing a blessing to the new season of spring. Spring is a season of renewal, a time when the land awakens from the winter sleep. The promise of new food. In nature, we see the first buds on trees, flowers begin to bloom, and birds singing to welcome the return of the light. Animals begin to mate, new babies are born, and we transition through spring into summer, time of abundance. Those of us who have survived the struggle of winter, and we celebrate the new rising of the sun in spring. For ancient civilizations, this was a time deeply sacred. It marked the return of abundance, of warmer weather, of more food, of fertile land, and the promise of a successful harvest ahead. In many traditions, spring represents rebirth, renewal, transformation. It is a time to let go of the old and embrace the new, whether in nature, in our communities, or within ourselves. Just as the earth resets, so may we reset ourselves in the birth of spring. For over 5,000 years, our ancestors and people have come here to honor the changing of the seasons. And just like that, today we see druids and people come to honor the rising sun, the seasons, and today they honor spring. In ancient times, the druids were seen as spiritual leaders, philosophers, and keepers of ancient wisdom. For the druids, the equinoxes is a time of balance, a moment when the forces of light and dark, life and death, the seen and the unseen come together in harmony. Today, modern druids and spiritual seekers continue to gather at Stonehenge, welcoming the returning of the light and celebrating the disciples of the seasons. Stonehenge, its massive stones have stood the test of time, silently watching the sun rise and set for millennia. But the question is, how was it built? What's amazing about this mysterious site is that the stones that have been used to build it have come from many miles away. The outer stones, known as the Saracen stones, come from around 20 miles away. Each stone weighs around 25 tons. And apparently they're 40 tons worth of stone. 40 tons worth of stone, 25 above ground, but 40 including that's under the ground. The inner large blue stones come all the way from Wales. And these are the blue stones, 150 miles away from Wales. And the center sacred stone comes all the way from Scotland. So the altar stone in part is here. It goes under these stones over here to the middle part of the altar stone, which is here. And what's fascinating is this stone potentially came from northern Scotland and from around 500 miles away from this location. It goes under here, can be seen running all the way under these stones over to here and comes out on this other side here. And it is theorized by the amazing scholar I spent time talking to today that at one point it was located round about here in this central access point to the rising of the summer solstice sun, and also in alignment with the rising and setting of the moon, as well as all of the other points around summer, spring, autumn and winter.
So everybody knows that Stonehenge is lined up with the summer solstice sunrise. They all come here on the 21st of June, stand in the middle and wait for the sun to pop out of the Heelstone. When this was built, the sun wasn't rising over the Heelstone, it was rising to the left of the Heelstone. And as it rises and becomes the fully risen sun, it goes behind the tip of the Heelstone. And then the Heelstone casts a shadow that runs up into the centre of Stonehenge.
Wow.
And the tip of that shadow lands on the centre of the altar stone, which is that big Scottish stone that lies down in the middle. And that has been suggested is some kind of symbolic fertilisation of the monument, which is in the shape of a horseshoe, the horseshoe being the womb idea, and the Heelstone being this really pointy stone that's kind of like the sacred masculine. Summer solstice, the sun's at the height of his power, and that penetration of the earth goddess by the shadow caused by the Sky Father is what fertilises the earth. And 9 months later, of course, we're today, spring equinox, the earth's springing back into life. It works really nicely as a narrative. Yeah. And the shadow effect certainly worked when this was built. These people are geniuses. 1 year is enough to know that the sun only goes that far in the summer and it only goes that far in the winter and then it comes back. And the moon, to get to these absolute extremes, takes nearly 19 years. It is ridiculously difficult to get an exact alignment on the precise maximum swing of the moon rise or set, because it moves so quickly that unless you have good weather, the moon's precisely at its maximum and minimum declination, and you're there at the time, you're going to miss it.
To be able to work that out, don't you think that they would have had to have been observing the movements of the sun and the moon for like at least 1,000 years, potentially?
More than that, tens of thousands of years.
Tens of thousands of years.
Yeah, what we've failed to appreciate in our modern life with stuff like writing and an internet is that without that, what you've got is stories. And stories are really persistent and they stick. People tell the same tales about the same things. And stories and myths sort of perpetuate over multi-generations in a way that we forget that that's possible. Indigenous cultures have stories that go back 50, 100 generations. Yeah. And they have spent, as you say, a lot of time handing down the understanding this happens and probably 6 or 7 cycles trying to work out where we need to be.
It's a mystery how our ancient ancestors moved such stones and why they brought them to this incredible location.
Talking a little about why this Scottish altar stone might be here. It's 500 miles to bring it. I think the culture that was up there in the northeast of Scotland had spent so long looking at the sky from where they were that they realised there must be a magical spot a bit further south where they could get this exact line-up to build this super simple and elegant design with the minimum number of stones. 4 local stones, and we'll bring one of ours to show it was us.
I
love the way you've studied it and you've got such a deep understanding, and not only just a theoretical understanding, a personal and practical. I can feel and sense and hear from you. You've been on the land, you've been observing these cycles yourself, you've been aligning it, investigating and researching it. So thank you for sharing.
You're more than welcome.
Really
Mark one
that.
eyeball and an inquiring mind is all you need to do this stuff.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. Even now, Stonehenge still holds a special place where we can observe the rising and setting of the sun. It's an amazing place to come and observe the cycles. As we can see around, the sky is glorious, the land is rich. But it's been a great experience to come in here. I hope you've enjoyed our video and our journey through the spring equinox here in Wiltshire at Stonehenge. Stay tuned with us, drop your comments, make sure you subscribed, keep following the journey, live in the adventure one day at a time, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
We love life like adventurers, wild and free. We question and discern with a philosopher's key. We seek out the truth where the mysteries hide, with the courage of warriors through earth, sea, and sky.